Look at what we've achieved in the space of 11 years. It's phenomenal. And I want to thank every single one of you that's been riding with me. What a roller coaster journey. But you know what the problem is that it's far from over yet. You know, we've done it once, we've done it twice. Doing it a third time hasn't been easy, but I believe it's something that I can achieve. It's about making the right steps forward, working hard, improving, and it's got to come from here more than anything. It can't come from any external voices or influences. It's got to come from here. And it's only been a day, but when I sit back and I'm thinking, I know I got a lot of this, man. I know I got a lot of this, so yeah.
Quickly, any chance of a retirement for Anthony?
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, he was on a great run. He just got caught so early. I mean, he never really got a chance to get into the fight, but even in the circumstances, he almost found a way back in.
Anthony Joshua swiftly put to bed any notion that retirement might be on the cards after his upset defeat at the hands of Daniel Dubois on Saturday night, hinting. Instead, in a rematch, Tim Bradley feels that Joshua has evolved, technically with all the different trainers he's had during his career. However, due to Dubois' pace, Joshua became overloaded and unable to figure out which plan to use. Bradley mentioned Joshua has gotten a little bit better. Skillfully, he evolved through all those trainers. That being said, making him run at a certain speed is like overpowering his body. While Joshua has been training, they have changed coaches a lot. This gives them too much information, which they can't process as well as if they had been with the same coach from the beginning. You know what to do when you only have one coach your whole time. Furthermore, Bradley said that he doesn't know what to do, and that he needs to move quickly and make decisions quickly. I knew this was going in. When Dubois comes forward, he does great. He's very dangerous. It's like he's a clock. Afterward, he'll bounce back and then quickly move forward to get closer to you. Joshua's attitude about needing to swap out teachers each time he loses came back to bite him, making him unable to deal with a high-pressure situation last Saturday. Joshua would not have had this happen if he had stayed with the teacher he had when he first turned pro. Bradley said, "I think the fight was over right away. When I saw Anthony Joshua walk out, he had his hands down and his chin up. I looked at my wife and said, 'This is over. He's getting ready to have his chin knocked off.' As soon as that right hand struck, he never recovered from the first right hand at all. Joshua looked like he was following his trainer Ben Davidson's game plan, to use movement which was useless because it allowed Dubois to come after him and unload with full power. Joshua never really got his offense going in the first round before getting clipped, and he was too hurt in the remaining rounds to do much. Bradley further added it still looked somewhat like the same Joshua, but his chin was up in the air, and his hands were dropped. I don't know if that had something to do with the way he was trained. However, that was AJ People. It was he who got out-jabbed, he got out-positioned, and he came to win, and he showed up. It was the 100% refurbished. Joshua rebuilt back to original specs that Dubois destroyed. He did not win because Joshua was washed up like some think, but rather because he was meeting a guy with power similar to Vladimir Klitschko. Joshua would have had trouble with Dubois earlier in his career. Bradley Sayer. One more thing. This is the first puncher since AJ fought Ruiz in 2019. He hasn't faced anybody that can punch. Think about that. His first real puncher, bro. He hasn't fought anybody that could punch that hard. AJ did face one big puncher, Francis Ngannou, in the last 5 years since his second fight against Andy Ruiz. However, Ngannou, a boxing novice, with one fight under his belt in the pro ranks, had no skills whatsoever and didn't know how to use the power he possessed in his fight against Joshua last March. No puncher had fought Joshua before Ngannou, helping him achieve. The 34-year-old was brutally handled by his fellow British boxer as he was stopped in the 5th round and lost the chance to become a 3-time world heavyweight champion at Wembley. Anthony Joshua isn't done yet. Eddie Hearn says AJ's sights are set on a rematch with Daniel Dubois after their intense showdown.
After the round, someone said there is a rematch clause for this fight. Is that the plan?
Yeah,
to take an immediate rematch?
We'll keep that respectful because
Daniel Dubois stunned Anthony Joshua with a 5th-round knockout win to retain the IBF World Heavyweight title at Wembley Stadium. Joshua was knocked down 4 times in total. Promoter Frank Warren has made it clear that while Daniel Dubois isn't obligated to give Anthony Joshua a rematch. He's more than open to the idea with no rematch option locked into the contract for their recent clash. Warren emphasized that Dubois remains free to take his next steps without any immediate obligations. However, he left the door wide open for a second fight between the two. Frank Warren said they can have a repeat if they want it. Anyway, I don't have a problem with that. Frank Warren has confirmed that while Daniel Dubois is not contracted to take a rematch with Anthony Joshua, the promoter would still welcome a second fight, while Warren said there was no rematch option in Joshua's contract for Saturday's showdown. Warren expressed his willingness, saying they can have it if they want it. Anyway, I don't have a problem with that. This signals that despite no official contractual requirement, a rematch could very well be on the horizon, leaving the choice in Joshua's hands to seek redemption in the ever-evolving heavyweight environment. Frank Warren sees no shortage of chances for British boxing. The UK continues to be a breeding ground for top-tier heavyweights. Talent producing a steady stream of world-class fighters ready to make their mark on the global stage with some of the biggest names under his promotional banner, Warren thinks the country is in a prime situation to dominate the heavyweight division. There are loads of options. We're blessed here in the UK. I think we've got the best fighters in the UK. Warren proudly stated he further highlighted the depth of talent at his disposal, pointing to established champions and rising prospects. Alike, we've got Tyson Fury. We've got Dubois here now doing what he's doing. We've got young Moses Adaman coming through and all these other guys. Warren added, emphasizing the promising future of the division. Warren's vision extends beyond individual fighters. With a stacked roster of British heavyweights, he believes there's a wealth of thrilling domestic matchups that could electrify fans. There are some brilliant fights to be made, some great domestic bouts to be made, Warren concluded, underscoring his confidence that the heavyweight scene in the UK will continue to flourish with exciting clashes on the horizon. Joshua was floored multiple times in a blistering display from Dubois before finally being stopped by an explosive right hand in the 5th round. The decisive moment had arrived just seconds after Joshua thought he had made a breakthrough by wobbling Dubois, who stunned Wembley by countering emphatically to send the former unified world champion tumbling to the canvas. In doing so, Dubois cemented his credentials as IBF World Heavyweight Champion while celebrating the biggest win of his career in front of a 96,000 sellout crowd following the intense bout at Matchroom. CEO Eddie Hearn wasted no time in discussing the future of Anthony Joshua. I mean, listen, obviously I'm devastated because our guy lost, but what a fight. I mean, an absolute nightmare start despite the grueling nature of the fight. Hearn believes Joshua won't shy away from seeking redemption.
I mean, listen, obviously I'm devastated because our guy lost, but what a fight. I mean, absolute nightmare start.
The former 2-time heavyweight champion has shown a pattern of bouncing back from setbacks, and this time appears no different, with Daniel Dubois putting on a strong performance. A rematch would be a dangerous yet enticing prospect for Joshua, who is determined to reassert his place among the heavyweight elite.
Knew Dubois was going to start fast, but unfortunately he landed early and AJ just couldn't recover, but so proud of him because the heart he showed was unbelievable.
Hearn suggested immediately after the fight, confident that Joshua's fighting spirit will drive him toward a second meeting. I think Joshua will exercise that rematch clause. I think that's a given, though Joshua will likely need time to recover physically and mentally. The Matchroom boss acknowledges the high stakes of a rematch. Hearn continued pointing to Dubois' upward trajectory and the increasing threat he poses to Joshua. He'll need AR rest, and it's a dangerous fight. This guy is growing in confidence, all the time still. Hearn is convinced that Joshua sees a path to victory in a rematch. Hearn explained he'll believe he can hurt Dubois. He'll believe he can beat him, reinforcing the idea that Joshua isn't ready to back down, but Hearn also gave full credit where it was due, recognizing Dubois' commendable efforts, but full credit to Daniel Dubois. He deserves all the credit. It was a fantastic performance, Hearn said, making it clear that Deo's rise is undeniable and a rematch would be a challenge for both fighters while no date is yet set. Hearn insisted that another fight would be coming. He said there was no immediate rush, but I know what AJ is like, and he would love to have another crack at him. Eddie Hearn took to the post-fight press conference to lay out Anthony Joshua's next steps, shedding light on potential matchups and future plans.
Listen, we got to win the rematch.
Do you think you'll do it again? Is there a clause?
Rematch, I can't imagine him not triggering it, and he needs to be better. He will be better, and we'll fancy we can knock out Dubois next time.
While a rematch with Daniel Dubois is on the table, Hearn stresses that Joshua's path is filled with exciting possibilities. Beyond just one fighter, the heavyweight division is brimming with talent. Joshua's comeback will be part of a bigger strategy, including a high-profile bounce during Saudi Arabia's Riyadh season, a major promotional event for the sport. Hearn explained, "We have another fight with Riyadh season, and Turkey's Al-Sheikh and Daniel Dubois are part of that plan, but so too could be Tyson Fury or another heavyweight." He emphasized showcasing the variety of directions Joshua's career could take in the near future, while 2024 will set the stage for Joshua's return. Hearn hinted that 2025 could be even more pivotal for his fighter. Legacy, whether it's a blockbuster, showdown with Fury, or a rematch with Dubois, Joshua is expected to be in the thick of the heavyweight division's biggest fights. Hearn confidently stated, reinforcing that Joshua's journey is far from over. "I think that 2025 is going to be an intriguing year for Anthony Joshua one way or another, but he will definitely be back regardless of the opponent." Hearn promised that Joshua's return will be one to watch. Hearn stated that whether it's against Daniel Dubois, Tyson Fury, or anyone else, you will be entertained, whoever you're going to entertain. Hearn left fans eager to see what's next for the former champion in his quest to reclaim the top spot in heavyweight boxing. Joshua was knocked down in the opening round with a thunderous overhand right from Dubois, never quite recovering as he endured wave after wave of punishment amid a raucous Wembley atmosphere. Eddie Hearn, speaking passionately after the fight, couldn't hide his admiration for Anthony. Joshua's resilience in the face of adversity from the first round. Joshua was battling more than just Daniel Dubois' punches. He was fighting against his own physical limits despite the tough situation. Hearn praised Joshua's heart and determination to stay in the fight, showcasing the champion's warrior spirit. Eddie Hearn said it was the first round. After that, he was fighting on heart and desire. "I'm so proud because he never gave up. His legs were deceiving him, and he kept on trying." Hearn reflected on Joshua's struggle to maintain control as Dubois' power tested his resolve, understanding the danger of facing a heavy-handed opponent like Dubois. Hearn acknowledged that such battles can take a brutal toll, but Joshua's unwillingness to quit stood out, Hearn added, underscoring Joshua's determination. To rise despite the odds when you are in there with a massive puncher is what can happen. He never stopped trying to get up, even when he couldn't get up at the end. However, Hearn didn't fail to recognize Dubois' impressive performance. Hearn further stated giving Dubois his due respect for what was a career-defining win. "Daniel deserves credit. He's a real-world champion. Congratulations to him." Joshua was magnanimous in defeat as he offered praise to DUIs after a career-best performance, vowing to return again after a hard-fought battle. Anthony Joshua showed his respect and humility in the post-fight interview. Despite the disappointment of defeat, his words reflected a blend of sportsmanship and frustration as he acknowledged his opponent's success while processing his own performance. Joshua, known for his composure in difficult moments, took the time to give credit where it was due, accepting the outcome with dignity. Joshua said credit to him and his team. "We rolled the dice of success, but we came up short," recognizing that despite his efforts, the night didn't go in his favor. However, underneath his calm demeanor, Joshua's competitive spirit was clearly still simmering, knowing his fiery nature inside the ring. He admitted to feeling the emotional intensity that comes with such high-stakes fights, but made a conscious decision to maintain professionalism and respect for DUIs, showing a glimpse of the frustration bubbling beneath the surface, but holding himself to the standard of a seasoned champion. Joshua said, I'm ready to kick off in the ring, but I'm going to keep my cool, keep it very professional, and give respect to my opponent for Joshua. Fighting is about the journey, lessons, and resilience of every round in addition to winning." He reflected on the mindset that keeps him going, even when the dice don't land in his favor. His words revealed his undying commitment to the sport, one that drives him to keep moving forward no matter the result. Emphasizing his lifelong dedication to boxing and his refusal to be deterred by setbacks, Joshua shared, "I'm always saying to myself, I'm a fighter for life." We keep rolling the dice as the emotions of the fight lingered. Joshua opened up about the mistakes he felt he made in the ring. His opponent had outpaced him in certain moments, and while frustration lingered, Joshua took accountability for his own role in the outcome, showing the mindset of a true professional who learns from every fight. Joshua stated that, I'm ready to kick off in the ring, but I'm going to keep my cool, keep it very professional, and give the respect to my opponent. I had a smart opponent, a fast opponent, and secondly, a lot of mistakes from my end. But that's the game, balancing his recognition of Dubois' skill with an honest assessment of his own performance. AJ left the door open for growth and future chances in the ring as the dust settled after his latest bout. Anthony Joshua faced a critical moment in his post-fight interview, with rumors swirling about his future in the sport. Many wondered if this loss would be a turning point for the previous champion. Would he consider moving away from the ring, or would his legendary resilience drive him forward once again? The question lingered, but Joshua, true to his nature, confronted it head-on, making his plans clear. "Probably you're asking, do I still want to continue fighting?" he said, addressing the doubt regarding his next move. "Of course I want to continue fighting. We took a shot at victory, and we came up short. And what does that mean now? Are we going to run away? We're going to live to fight another day. That's what I am. I'm a warrior." His words left no room for doubt. Joshua wasn't ready to hang up the gloves or back down. Instead, he embraced the challenge, embodying the warrior spirit that has defined his career. Despite the setback, he reaffirmed his commitment to the sport and his hunger for redemption. For Joshua, this was simply another chapter in the journey, not the end of the road. In a candid post-fight reflection, Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua's promoter, praised AJ's toughness despite the challenging bout. Hearn acknowledged the fight's difficulty, but highlighted Joshua's unwavering determination.
It's a difficult defeat, but at this point you have to try and take any positives you can, and it's difficult because the start was disastrous. And the only positives I can take is the unbelievable heart and guts and nuts that he showed to never give up. And I said in the change room, I said, the amount of times I've heard over the years of fighters say, I will rather get knocked out than try and survive or lose on points. I will go out on my shield. He went out on his shield. Even when he didn't have his legs, he was trying to land the right hands. He was trying to find a way back in the fight. And remarkably, as bad as he performed tonight, or as many of the mistakes that he made, he still could have won the fight.
Hearn's words underscored Joshua's resilience and warrior spirit even in the face of hardship.
We've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day. To this day.
To this day.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
To this day.
Amid speculation about Anthony Joshua's future, talks have surfaced about a possible showdown with Deontay Wilder.
Legacy beyond just Fury and Wilder, for sure. It would have been great to take those fights.
In a highly charged commentary, Gareth A. Davies didn't hold back his criticism following Anthony Joshua's recent bout with Daniel Dubois. Davies delivered a scathing review of Joshua's performance, asserting that the former champion was severely beaten. His remarks reflect a significant concern about Joshua's future in the sport, questioning the wisdom of a potential rematch. Davey said, "We haven't seen him beaten up like this before. He was beaten up last night, absolutely beaten up. That's why here's my view. Don't fight Daniel Dubois in the rematch." Eddie, why are you saying fight Daniel Dubois? That could be catastrophic. If the same thing happens again, and it ruins his legacy, and he has got a great legacy in the sport with a provocative stance. Davey suggested that Joshua should reconsider his approach and opt for different opportunities rather than risking another high-stakes fight with Dubois. He should continue to wait and see what happens with Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk and fight. Tyson Fury next year and then retire, that's all he needs to do.
But in my view, if I was advising him now, I'd say, don't fight Daniel Dubois again. Don't fight Deontay Wilder. Some people will suggest that fight now. Just wait out for Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. recover, and fight Tyson Fury.
This controversial advice reflects Davies' belief that Joshua's best path forward involves carefully selecting future opponents to preserve his legacy rather than rushing into another potentially damaging fight defeat for Joshua. Casts further question marks over the prospect of a meeting with Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury, who will face off in a rematch in Saudi Arabia later this year. Dubois, still just 27 years old, will also have his sights set on Usyk as he looks for payback from his own defeat to the Ukrainian great after Anthony Joshua's tough defeat to Daniel Dubois. The boxing world is buzzing with speculation about his next move. Joshua, who was knocked out in the 5th round and missed out on a chance to become a 3-time world heavyweight champion, is now facing a crossroads in his career despite the setback. Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, is confident that Joshua will be ready for a rematch, showcasing his trademark resilience and determination. However, not everyone agrees with this plan. Gareth A. Davies has been particularly outspoken, saying, "Joshua was heavily beaten," and warning that another fight with Dubois could be risky. Davies even suggested Joshua should aim for a fight with Deontay Wilder, or consider retiring after a bout with Tyson Fury, as Joshua contemplates his next steps. The heavyweight division is filled with exciting possibilities. The big question now is, will Joshua go for a rematch with Dubois, or will he explore other high-stakes fights to reignite his career?